Welcome back to Candies Corner. Listen, it's episode 5. We're super excited to have you. So come on in, grab your coffee, sit down, get comfy because we're talking motherhood, mental health, and of course, a little coffee with Christ. So let's chat, okay? Sit down. Plenty to talk about. What I want to tell you, what's brewing in the mental health community today. So if you did not know, please let me let you know that I am a DC resident. I was born here at DC. I was born at our local hospital. I'm not going to tell you all my business, but I was born here and I still live here. And we have a huge accomplishment that I really want to congratulate the city of Washington for, okay? Because DDOT has approved an anti-suicide barrier on the William Howard Taft Bridge. If you don't know where the William Howard Taft Bridge is, that bridge goes from Connecticut Avenue, Woodley Park area, all the way down to Rock Creek Park. So it's a pretty huge bridge, and in the last 10 years, nearly 30 deaths have been committed on that bridge. So over the years, there has been countless supports and campaigns and petitions that have been pitched and signed to our government, to our mayor, to our council, saying, hey, listen, something has to be done. And so it's a blessing that something is going to be done. So we're super excited. That's a huge win for our community. So big shout outs to everyone who was involved in those petitions. It's happening, y'all. So 2024, we can expect to finally actually see that bridge up, or that barrier at that bridge, and that's super exciting. But I want to talk to you all about suicide for just a quick second, if you don't mind. Suicide is something that is near and dear to my heart as a suicide attempt survivor. Unfortunately, I did try to commit suicide on my own life, and I was unsuccessful. Thank God. He was like, I need you, stay right here because we have more work to do. So I was unsuccessful in my attempt. Praise be. If I wasn't, you wouldn't be hearing from me right now. But it's been something that has definitely been on my heart. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into mental health. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to young women in my community who've ever experienced any type of trauma and who has considered suicide, to know that it does get better. There are other options. There is a way that you can mend fences and mend your heart and grow from whatever your situation is, okay? So that's super, super important to me. Suicide is like huge. It's the 16th leading cause of death in DC. There are over 700,000 people who committed suicide in 2022 alone. That is actually an 8% increase for ages 15 through 24 in the last year. And we have got to talk about it because obviously these numbers are increasing year after year after year. It's not going down, it's getting worse. So we got to talk about what are some contributing factors to suicide and suicidal ideations, because we got to get real here, right? So some of the things that can lead to suicide, especially in those ages 15 to 24, is changes in family status. It could be divorce, it could be loss of a loved one, it could be death of a family, it could be friendships changing, hormonal changing, it could be exposure to drug use or abuse. It can be bullying in school. It could be losing focus in school due to whatever reason. And that shows up in so many different ways. Like a young person, an adolescent, a teenager, a young woman, a young man, your little sister, your little brother, your little cousin could be showing signs of depression, could be showing signs of suicidal ideations, by engaging now in risky behavior, loss of appetite, weight fluctuation, it's up and it's down, loss of interest in things that generally made them extremely excited at one point, like having no interest in it at all now. It could be a number of things, an exposure, a new obsession with death. Like these things, when you see these signs, when you see people expressing these kind of interests now, all of a sudden, you might want to be like, you okay, sissy? You okay? Bruh, can we talk? Like, are you all right? And generally, people who are having suicidal ideations, they do not just come out and say, I want to kill myself. That doesn't happen. Normally, it's just you picking up on the signs that, like, there's been a shift in their energy, or, y'all love energy. It's been a shift in how they communicate. It's been a shift in how they interact with you. It's been a shift in how they interact with themselves. It could be a loss of attention to their appearance. They used to be all glamorous and cute and, keeping themselves up. And now they're kind of like sweatpants and, a bun, don't care if they brush their teeth today or not. Like just kind of just going with the flow, hopelessly, aimlessly, questioning their self-worth. It's time to investigate. Okay, it's time to investigate. We don't ever want to hear that someone that we love has committed suicide. You never want to hear that someone you love is considering suicide or even battling depression. You definitely don't want to hear that they're battling it alone. So what can you do if you notice these signs or recognize these signs in someone that you know, someone you love? Not just our teenagers, although they are really going through it. There's so many changes that they're experiencing, just as a whole, just recovering from the pandemic, like not being in school, then being in school, and loss of attention and loss of funding in some communities. Like there's a lot going on for these teenagers, and my heart really goes out to them. There is an increase in gun violence in our streets. There are so many kids that are literally just coming up missing, whether it's from gun violence or drugs or just being in the wrong place, wrong time. There was just a teenager who got shot at the bus stop. There was another teenager who got shot at the gas station, not even involved in the shooting. They didn't have no firearm. They weren't with anyone who had a firearm. They just happened to be standing there when someone with a firearm shot out of their window. So it's a lot of things that are happening, and unfortunately this stuff is in our news every day. It's on social media every day. So they are getting a influx, like it's constantly in your face as someone is dying, and most of the times it's someone in your community. So it can become overwhelming. There is sometimes like not enough sensitivity concerning the fact that someone has passed. It's like, okay, you hear about it today and tomorrow it's another person. So we just throw up a hashtag and we move on to the next person, but we're not taking time to actually process like life and death, is actually happening around us every single day. So something that I encourage you all to do if you notice someone is really struggling mentally and emotionally, whether they've ever confessed that they are considering taking their life or not, you really need to start talking to people and just really asking them how they feel. And I want you to know that the number one response, even it's psychologically, so you can't even argue with it. The number one response when anyone asks you, how are you? Or, how you feeling? It's always, I'm good, or I'm okay, or I'm fine. That's a defense. It's automatic. It's not necessarily true, but it's automatic. Even someone in the grocery store say, hey man, how's it going? Just say, I'm good, how are you? Thank you. And you keep going. You don't really even process or register the question that was just asked. So I want to encourage you to really take time this week to ask three different people, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? No, like for real, how are you feeling? And then please listen to what they have to say. Do not share your opinion until they're done, or unless they ask you to. Just listen. Okay? And listen without condemning. If someone tells you and confides in you and tells you that they're really going through something, that they made poor choices, or that they have, just been dealing, like really battling depression, or they have, just been in a funk, I'm like, all right, get over it. Let's move on. We got stuff to do today. Don't take that approach, because that just shuts people down and just makes them feel like, and I've heard this so many times, even in my own community and my own circles, what's the point of talking about it? No one's going to care anyway. And I've even said that before, and it's really a sad thing. You don't want to ever hear anyone say, I don't feel like I have an outlet, because that's what they're saying. If someone says to you, what is the point of me telling you how I feel when it's not going to change anything? That means they don't feel comfortable in knowing that there is safety here. So we have to provide those environments, those opportunity for safety and for safe conversations, for vulnerable conversations where you're not like, so what? I've gone through so much worse than that. Get over it. Let's move on. This is not the time for that. Restore in the spirit of meekness. That is what the Bible tells us to do. Restore. restore in the spirit of meekness. So just take your time with people. Be kind. You never know what people are battling. You never know what people are going through. So just be respectful, you know? Love on people. And if it is your teen, if it is, you know, your younger child or younger niece, nephew, cousin, little sister, little brother, or whatever, and they've expressed some feelings of discontentment or suicidal ideations, and you've tried to talk to them, be that listening ear, that's not working, you know, it's okay to seek help on their behalf. It's okay to reach out to a spiritual advisor, a counselor, or a therapist and say, hey, you know, I'm concerned. And if that is not well received and it's gotten to the point where now they are trying, like, you know that there's a plan in play for them to harm themselves, then you want to definitely take even further intervention, which can be, you know, having a psych eval or a psych hold at a hospital for 72 hours. That is an option. It's an extreme option, but it is an option if you feel like, listen, I need to get them help right now. If someone's expressing feelings of discontentment and suicidal ideations, you want to make sure that in their environment, in your household, that they don't have the means to commit suicide within your house. So that's taking away like the drugs out of the medicine cabinet. That's taking, if you have a firearm, you know, having it locked away, safe and out of reach. Okay, it should be like that anyway, but I just feel like I have to say that because apparently not everyone is doing that. So keeping it out of reach and safe, locked away. And then also, you know, anything sharp or things like that, you want to keep that. And then don't just think like it has to be the oxycodone from when you had surgery a few months ago. It can be cough syrup. It can be just, you know, ibuprofen 800. You know, you have a whole bottle of those, or sleep medicine, you know, because, I mean, there are so many free-flowing medicines all around us all the time that you don't realize can cause severe harm if taken in large quantities. So you want to be mindful of those things, and please, 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 get help for your loved ones, get help for your friends. Talk to these children. Listen, adults need support systems as well. I know everyone loves to say, you know, it takes a village, it takes a village. The village is not just for the kids. Villages are for adults too, okay? Because Lord knows I need a village. I need community, just like my baby needs community, just like, you know, someone in school needs community, just like someone who is just going through life. Everybody needs someone. Like, we are better off together. We should not be alone, especially when going through battles, right? So please get help. And if you are listening and you yourself are considering suicide, know that God loves you. Know that it does get better. Know that this is a trial. It is a test. Know that there is help that is out here for you. Know that you can dial 988 on your phone right now and be connected with a person who wants to support you, who wants to listen to you. I used to say, I'd rather listen to your story than listen to your obituary, okay? And again, like, as a person who tried to commit suicide, I actually have a semicolon behind my ear. I hope you can see that. So the semicolon, it's a semicolon project. You can look it up, which is where, you know, a semicolon is used in a sentence to continue. It's when the author chooses to continue a sentence. I chose to continue my life. I found value in being alive, and so I continued to live. And I wear my semicolon proudly because it's a victory, it's an honor for me to know that I'm still here, knowing when I felt such despair and not wanting to be here. And it's also nice. I have met people, so many people who have semicolons everywhere. They have it on their wrist, they'll have it, you know, they'll wear it on a necklace, they have it on a t-shirt, and it just makes me just so appreciative of knowing that there's a community out here who understands exactly where I have been and exactly the plan. It takes a lot to fight for your life. And if you've never been in a position where you've ever considered suicide, you don't really know how hard it is to battle those. It's not an easy decision to make at all. It's not an easy decision to make to commit suicide, and it's not an easy decision to make to stay. Because every day that you decide to stay, that means you have to fight. You have to fight against every thought, every spirit, everything that tells you within yourself that it's not worth it. It's an everyday battle. So please keep each and every one of you encouraged. You never know When I was considering suicide, people around me had no idea. I was still smiling, laughing, being just as goofy as I always have been. I was literally sitting in my car crying for hours and trying to figure out how I can just end it all, because I hated the life that I was living, and I felt so overwhelmed in my emotions, and it just felt too much to bear, just way too much to bear. And I want to just let you know that you can cast your cares on the Lord, because he does care for you. And he did not allow me to die. I literally tried to overdose, and I'm telling you, it did not work. I was throwing up and throwing up and throwing up and throwing up, and I threw up every pill that I had swallowed. And I'm just so grateful that God allowed me to live. I literally felt him holding me and telling me it's not time. And so I want to encourage you, if you don't know the Lord, it's high time. It's high time to get to know him, because even when there's no one else around, even when you feel like there's no one you can turn to, God is an ever-present help and in need of trouble, okay? And the reason why I'm so passionate about the Lord the way I am is because he saw me through so many things in my life, from childhood trauma, sexual abuse, suicide, divorce, single parenting. God has definitely kept me. So when I say, he's real to me, it's because I know him for myself. And because I know him, I want you to know him. Like, you deserve to get to know him. Please, you deserve it. So listen, y'all, be kind to people, love on people, and don't be afraid to tell people that God is real. Okay, let him be real to you. So that's what's brewing in the mental health community, and a little coffee with Christ at the same time there. But that's my testimony. Amen. I want to spill the beans on... Listen, y'all, you cannot please everybody. I really want to tell you that. I'm not sure if you know that, but you cannot please everybody. It's impossible. It is exhausting to live your life in the circumference of how everybody feels. Listen, you have a job, you have an assignment, you have a task. You have to do that, okay? You have to do that. It's time to refocus. It's time to recharge. And it's time to be refueled, okay? What do you want to do? Everyone has a purpose. What do you want to do? What were you put here on the earth to do? What are you passionate about? Let's focus on that. How can you help? Okay, let's redirect all of our goals. Let's redirect all of our attention and all of our efforts, and let's focus on that, and let's move forward. Okay, we got stuff to do. And it's time. Aren't you ready? I'm telling you, once you start getting focused on what you have been assigned to do, what you have been called to do, what you love to do, it just starts getting easier. And when people are getting upset about it, you have to say, you know what? It's okay. Because I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking in my calling. I've been anointed for this task. And whatever you feel is not my problem. Like, your urgency is not my emergency. I got to put me first. Right here in this season, I got to put me first. And when you're doing what you're supposed to do, there's room for others. There's room for family. There's room for love. There's room for relationship. There's room for all of it, but not at the sacrifice of your peace. So we're moving on. We're moving on. And now for our roast session. Listen, it is time for our roast session. Are you listening to this? Let me tell you something. Mommy, this is our mommy moment. Y'all know how I do. This is not the time for mom guilt, mom shaming. This is a safe space. I want to tell you something. Mommy breaks are essential. Yes, sir. Mommy breaks are essential. Do not let this old school way of thinking get you down. Feel like you got to be around your child 24/7. And if you don't, you're a horrible mom. If you don't, it drives me crazy. You can't say, like, I'm tired, like, I need a break, I need a moment, you can't say that without people saying, like, well, you decided to have them kids, those are your kids, you wanted to be grown. I did, and I did, and I did, and I did, but I still need to be my best self. Like, this child needs me. You know, you are the most important puzzle outside of the Lord to your child's pieces, okay? It doesn't matter. The children do not concern themselves with how much money you got. They don't concern themselves with how many nice things, material things, and all that stuff that you buy them. They are concerned with, are you here? Are you here? Are you happy? Are you healthy? Are you whole? Were you available emotionally for me when I was growing up? That's what kids remember. That is what the children remember. So all of this idea that you can't take a moment for yourself. Yes, you can. Mommy, you need to. You drive yourself crazy. Listen, I am not the queen. I am not the superwoman. I don't have no S on my chest. I don't wear no capes for fun. I am going to take me a break. I sure am. If I'm tired, if I'm overwhelmed, if I'm overstimulated, I'm going to say, listen, y'all, I'm going to do my best to maintain and function inside the house. But when I feel like I've been going, and that's with everything. That's with work. That's with, I'm a student too. So that's with school because I'm finishing my degree. That's with parenting. That's with ministry related tasks. That's with being a friend. That's with being a good daughter. That's with everything. That's with every hat that I wear. That's with managing schedules. That's with managing bills. That's with managing life, day-to-day tasks, actions, and responsibilities. If I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed where I'm about to blow, baby, I'm calling on my village. Listen, I need a few hours. Take her, please. I need a few hours. That doesn't mean I don't love my child. That doesn't mean I don't want my child. That doesn't mean I don't respect my child. Being a mother is the best gift I ever had in my life. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but it's also the most rewarding thing I've ever been tasked with. Let me tell you something. My daughter 100% drives me up a wall, but also I can't imagine not having her when she's literally not here. I'll be like, what's she doing? Let me call her. I be on FaceTime with her when she's not in my presence. Like, I love my kid. I love my kid. I study that girl. I pay attention to her. I make sure I'm available emotionally and mentally and physically for her. But when I feel like that's being compromised by how I feel emotionally, there's a such thing. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Do you know that? If your cup runs empty, what do you have? You be sipping in air? That's not enough. I'm calling on the village. Hey, village. Yo, I need a break. Come see about this girl. Can you keep her this weekend? Not the whole weekend. I just need just Friday night. Not just another day. The girl went to school on Friday. I just need the nighttime. And it's not even to do anything crazy. It's not even to go out. Sometimes I just want to sleep. I want to sit in my house and eat uninterrupted, use the bathroom without nobody knocking on the door, and take a nap with nobody saying they're bored or they want something to do, or can they watch a movie with me, can they snuggle with me, can they get a bed? I just need a moment. And you're not a bad mom. You're actually an amazing mother for noticing and recognizing and being able to identify within yourself that I need a moment so that I can be more effective and efficient in this child's life. There's nothing wrong with that. Child, get your mommy break and let's move on. Like, we have so many people, especially, I'm going to say the older generation, because I've heard it from several people in that generation, and that I'm talking about, mommies and aunties, not necessarily my mama, don't just start with the cutting up. But I have heard when you said, like, I'm tired or I'm exhausted, ain't nobody tell you to lay on your back. Those are your kids. You wanted to be a mom. You wanted to have them kids. Not so easy, is it? Ain't nobody help me. Just because your child rearing years was traumatic doesn't mean mine is going to be. And I'm not inflicting that or passing that on to my kid either. We're going to have some peace in this house, okay? We're going to have peace. If I need a moment, I need a moment. And shame on you for making someone feel bad about it. We don't believe in that over here. Take your moment, baby. Take your moment. Okay, so that we could be able to run around with these kids and have a good time together without feeling like I need to be like these soccer moms that are taking opioids. That stuff is happening every day. Now, if you start turning to drugs to suppress you being overwhelmed and frustrated with your kids, then they're going to say, you're a bad mom, you're unfit, you're a druggie. But when you say, listen, I need help, I need a break, it's you decided to have those kids. I'm going to pick which one y'all want me to be. Y'all want me to be the self-aware mom, or you want me to be the mom that has to hide and pretend that I'm okay and be crying in the bathroom while the kids knock on the door? I refuse. These kids ain't going to drive me crazy. I want to be there. I want to be an active parent. But in order to be an active parent, that means I have to be woosah. Every now and then, y'all, we got to woosah. It's okay. Take your break. That's what we're spilling the beans on. That's what our roast session is. Look, that can't even be a mental health moment. That could be what's brewing. Take your break, girl. And if people say, hey, I want to get your child this weekend. Now, if it's somebody you trust, don't just send kids to everybody, because I don't believe in that. But if it's someone within your village that says they want to support you in this moment, they say, hey, I haven't got your baby in a while. You know, I know you probably need a break. Let me know when's a good weekend for you. Don't be like, oh, she's fine. He's fine. I got it. And you in their house having mental breakdowns, praying to God that you'll be okay. Asking for strength in the areas your weekend. It look like he just sent your lifeboat. You better take it. Depend on your village. If you have good people in your life who want to support you, let them. Please. Let them. It's hard. I'm a single parent. It's hard doing it by yourself. It's hard not having that other person in the household that you can depend on, that you can offload just some of the regular tasks on sometimes, like getting dinner, like pick up after school and stuff like that. Sometimes that is difficult, but it's not impossible. That just means I have to be more intentional with my child to make sure, number one, she doesn't feel the effects of being in a single parent household. And then I have to be just as intentional with making sure I cultivate an environment where I feel released, where I feel at peace. That doesn't mean every day I need a break from my kid, but at a certain point, bye. It's okay to say, look, I need time out. Flag on the play. I need just a small moment. Love you. Small moment. That's okay. Okay, so that's what we're spilling the beans on today. Our coffee with Christ for today, I want to give you the scripture, Psalms 55, okay? Cast your cares on the Lord, for he cares for you. The Lord wants to sustain you. He wants to be your heavy load bearer, your burden carrier. He wants to be that strong tower for you. He wants to. He desires to. Listen, he did not become Savior of the world. He did not die for all our sins to allow you to still carry some. Put it down. Give it to Jesus. Okay, let him do it. Let him carry it. Let him be that strong man for you. It's okay. Let him love on you. Let him repair you. Let him remake you. Let him make you be whole. Okay, don't be around here worrying yourself. Listen, it's enough to be worried about. It's enough to be concerned about, not worried. There's enough to be concerned about. But some stuff, listen, baby, he will never let you down. Give it to him. Okay? I love y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for another episode of Candies Corner. I look forward to seeing you all next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Best believe it's going down right here on Candies Corner. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.